We in here working. Getting back on the mat. Getting back on the mat. Getting back on the mat. Hey, Connor. Getting back on the mat. Stay tuned, baby. Stay tuned. So Jaron Ennis got a fight coming up with Kachan. The IBF mandatory fight is a rematch for Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis, there's been fans saying that they want to see him face Terence Bud Crawford, but Terence Bud Crawford says once again, what do I gain? What am I gaining from fighting Jaron Ennis? It's your boy, Mr. 926, a.k.a. Bushido the Dragon, a.k.a. the Black Mage, a.k.a. I can just do this all day. The two-time DeMontage champion of the world.
I need y'all to get the likes up, man. Get the likes up.
Check it out, man. Terence Bud Crawford. Last time we seen Bud was on the wrestling mat. And he kind of said, you know what? I might do this thing with Conor McGregor. But Terence Bud Crawford, for the past several months, fans has been, well, I guess you could say it's since died down ever since this fight with Kachan got announced. But Jaron Ennis was a name that was attached to Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Bud Crawford was somewhat dismissive of Jaron Ennis. And really it's because Terence Crawford looks at it as like, what do I gain from beating Jaron Ennis? What do I gain from fighting Jaron Ennis at this point in my career? It took me this long to get here. I'm finally here to where I can get the big fights. And you guys want to have me go down and fight a guy that's not necessarily a big fight in my eyes, right? But Terence Bud Crawford says this, quote, "They're doing the right thing calling me out. I definitely get it. But I had to work so hard to get the big fights I got. They ain't done half of what I did. You want me to backtrack and forget the biggest fight in boxing, me and Canelo, to go and fight Boots? What am I gaining from that?" End quote. And yeah, this is pretty much what I've said. Terence Crawford really has nothing really to gain at this point of his career from facing Jaron Ennis. Now, Jaron Ennis was a young fighter who was already undisputed, who already done this, who already done that, who may have had a big fight or two, right, under his belt. Then it'll probably be a little bit more appealing to Terence Crawford. Terence Bud Crawford, despite what the fans think, right, is a compelling matchup. It's a very interesting matchup. However, to Crawford himself, who went through the politics of boxing, where the politics of boxing was beating him down for years on end. He finally got through that fight, and now he's at a point to where he can get some of the bigger fights, and now his name is attached to the biggest name in the sport of boxing, Canelo Alvarez. Why would he backtrack to fight Jaron Ennis? And I'm not saying Jaron Ennis isn't worthy enough to face a guy like Terence Crawford. No, I'm not saying anything like that. But I'm saying is Terence Crawford, the way he looks at it is like, look, man, I did all of this. Right? I've done so much in the sport, and I'm just now at 37 years old getting some of these big fights or some of these names mentioned with my name, right? 37 years old, bro. So, yeah, Terence Bud Crawford's looking at it like, look, man, I'm an OG fighter in the game now. You know what I'm saying? It took me too long to get here, and now I'm just looking for the big fights, bro. And unfortunately, right now, Jaron Ennis isn't necessarily a big fight, and it's not. Jaron Ennis is barely a main event fighter. And I'm not saying that disrespectfully, right? I'm just saying, in reality, he's just now really starting a main event. You know, Eddie Hearn is going to do right by Boots to really push Boots. But when he was with PBC, he necessarily wasn't fighting in Philadelphia like he should have, you know, building his fan base at home. He wasn't necessarily headlining cards like that, right? So, you know, Jaron Ennis has a long way to go. Not to mention, he got the IBF belt via a technicality, right? Email, whatever they call it now. So it's not like he went in there and beat this guy, went up this weight class, beat that guy. You know, it's not like Ennis done, you know, anything. I mean, he hasn't done half of what Crawford has done. And I'm pretty sure that Bud Crawford listens to Bushido Boxing because a lot of his talking points, I've said it already, and then, you know, guys come out and say it. I'm not saying I'm the all-be-all of boxing or nothing, but, you know, I tend to keep it a little bit more honest, a little bit more real over here on this side of the internet. So, yeah, that's just the way I seen it. You know, and I'm not no Boots hater or nothing. I like Ennis, but he got to deal with Kachan right now, right? Team Ennis needs to be focused on Kachan because, in my opinion, Kachan gave Ennis his most trickiest fight. He made Ennis look human. Honestly, he did. So I'm looking for Boots to go in this fight with Kachan and make a statement and put up a much better performance and actually stop Karen Kachan this time. Because Karen Kachan was a tough guy. The Ukrainian fighters are tough. He was very elusive in the fight. He had a good chin on him. So I would expect also for Kachan to come in a lot better. But the fight with Karen Kachan and Boots Ennis, it should be a really good fight this go round, right? It's going to be pretty interesting despite it not necessarily being a fight we was looking for or it not necessarily being a big fight. But Terence Bud Crawford is right. Why would he backtrack in the light of better options? Why would he backtrack to face Boots Ennis when he could possibly get Canelo Alvarez? And we hearing rumors that fight could possibly be happening. Don't take my word for it. This is just rumors, right? It's going to be one of those things to where the fight with Canelo Alvarez and Crawford may be one of those things to where we won't hear about it until they officially announce it. They may keep things behind closed doors to keep fans out of the negotiations because, I guess they say the fans can somewhat sway the negotiations in boxing and stuff like that. So if they are making a fight with Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, they're going to keep it behind closed doors until they're ready to announce it. That's just my opinion on that situation. But whatever the case, Terence Bud Crawford don't got too much time left in the sport of boxing. I'm seeing Terence Crawford is really just aiming for the big name fighters, the big fights, and just get the big paydays, just to be in some big fights. Because for years they say he ain't fought nobody, he ain't did this, he ain't did that. Now he's trying to do this, and now y'all trying to have him backtrack to go face somebody that's still in that same conundrum that he was once in before. So yeah, Terence Bud Crawford don't want to backtrack in light of better options. The better option is Canelo Alvarez. There's a possibility that he could get the fight. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Also, Conor McGregor, if Terence Crawford feel like dealing with some kicks. But yeah, you guys, that's just it. Terence Crawford pretty much shuts the door on Jaron Boots Ennis. I think it's just a timing thing, right? I think it's more so a timing thing. Now, Terence Crawford, he didn't have any options or anything available. I would say go face Jaron Boots Ennis. But right now, Terence Bud Crawford is at the top of the mountain, and he's looking up further for better challenges. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.